Hey ladies, welcome back to Somebody Come Listen to This podcast. This is your host, Nava. Please hit that subscribe button on your way in, ladies. Please do that because YouTube is playing. They are really playing and I'm so sick of them. If you're new here, welcome. Let's get into this topic, y'all. So we know that over 70% of divorces are initiated by women. What we don't know is that a lot of women are divorcing what people would call good guys or nice guys. And y'all know that the only reason people think that women should be getting divorced is like if they're getting beat on or if the man is cheating. And even in those cases, a lot of people don't even think women should divorce for those reasons. They just think women should just stay and just put up with it. The lawmakers obviously think that because that's why they're changing laws. Like they're trying to mess with the no-fault divorce laws, and they're doing a lot of stuff to keep women in the house. So even if you are getting beat on or cheated on, it's going to be really hard for you to get out of divorces unless you can prove it. And they even made laws where you can't even go through your spouse's phone. So they're trying to make it extremely hard for women to divorce men. But yeah, a lot of women are divorcing men who are so-called good men. And like I always tell y'all, do what's best for you. Do what you know is right for you and do what you need to do to protect your peace. As women, y'all need to stop listening to what people are telling you to do in your marriages. Women and men are completely different to me anyway. When women go into these marriages, it's not for the same reasons as men do. Women go into these marriages thinking, this is my person, this is the love of my life. What are we going to name our first dog? What are we going to name our first child? Is it going to be a boy or a girl? What kind of house are we going to have? I can't wait to grow old together and see our kids have grandkids, and I can't wait till we retire on the beach. And just women go in with the whole fairy tale, picturing the wedding, picturing how they're going to look when they get old, planning their funerals together. And this is women. Men go into marriages thinking about sex. They're thinking about, I hope she cooks for me 2-3 times a day. I hope the sex stays good. I hope she doesn't get fat. What the hell am I going to tell my side chick and my baby mama about me getting married because, I'm still messing with them? How am I going to tell them? I hope I can have a man cave so I can get the hell away from her. I hope our kids aren't ugly. I hope my kids don't have my hair. Men go into marriages thinking completely different things, and half the time they don't even want to get married. Most of the time they go into marriages because women force them. That's why these women are out here in these 10-year, 7-year engagements, 10-year, 15-year, engagements, or not even engaged sometimes. So half the time women just force them, and then they can't evade it any longer, so they just get married. The only time they'll do it unless you give them an ultimatum. They'll keep doing that until you give them an ultimatum or you say you're going to walk away. Then they'll marry you. But anyway, I'm rambling on. Let's get into these videos about the nice guys. Why these women left or divorced the nice guy, the good guy. And I'll be back with my commentary after this.
One talks about divorcing a good guy. I've been divorced twice, both of which were my decision, and neither one of them were abusing me or cheating on me. That doesn't mean there wasn't a pile of other reasons as to why we couldn't maintain a healthy relationship. You deserve to be happy. And I'm proud of you for taking responsibility for your happiness and doing something about it. So stop beating yourself up.
The reason why nobody's talking about divorcing the good guy is because they know how it makes them look, and they oftentimes live to regret it. And the bottom line is that it is extremely disappointing for men to hear stories like this, because it tells them that they could be an amazing man, but this is how they could still end up. The woman that they love and that they said vows to, and that she said vows back to him, could just decide she's not happy and she leaves him. Ladies, what so many men would love for you to understand is that they don't do that to you. Men do not leave good women simply because they aren't happy. Because most men understand that if they are not happy and yet they have a good woman, it is a him problem. A lot of women, unfortunately, do not think the same way when it comes to their own happiness, because they put it on the man to make them happy.
I had to stop right here and say that I agree with this pick me right here. Women do this all the time. They try to force men to make them happy by doing the things that they like. And I do believe that women should stop doing that. If you're not happy with him and he's not making you happy, you can't make somebody be or do something that they don't want to do. You can't make them be somebody that they aren't. You just aren't compatible. So stop stressing yourself out trying to make somebody make you happy, and to, stop trying to get them to do things that you want them to do to make you happy. That's just not who they are. That's not who you married. It may be who you married. They may have done those things just to get you to marry them. But now that you're married, they don't have to do those things anymore. And that's not who they were. So they're showing you who they really are now. So either you're going to deal with it or you're going to leave, or stress yourself out trying to force them to do something that they're not capable of or that they don't want to do.
These are women that will be in the cycle of finding a new man, being happy for a short amount of time, but then eventually, over time, they become unhappy because they're unhappy with themselves. So for you men listening, my biggest piece of advice is to make sure that you're with a woman that is naturally happy with herself. Trust me.
And this is why women have to get around like-minded women, because there's no way, if you're in a relationship with a so-called good guy, that you would be able to talk to a woman like this. Because most women are just so desperate for a man. Like, their definition of a good man is just a man that is just there and he's paying some bills. So most women you cannot talk to about anything when it comes to a man, because most people just worship the ground that most men walk on, and most women are just like I said, so desperate, y'all. Women like this get on my nerves. They act like they don't understand anything. Like most women cannot communicate with their husbands in these marriages. Their husbands don't know how to talk to them. They're like toddlers. It's just like pulling teeth trying to talk to your husband about anything. And if you're an intellectual woman who, is smart, you want to talk about so much stuff. You want to talk about, your retirement, savings. You want to talk about the future and preparing things for that. It's just so many things that women want to talk about that their husbands are so just not interested in. And not only because they're men, it's just because society has taught them that when they get married, that the women are supposed to like deal with everything. And so a lot of them just think that they have like a personal assistant to just take on everything. Their doctor's appointments, just like women are expected to take on all the holiday meals, just everything. Like, a lot of men stop dating when they get married. They don't want to date. Women are like lonely in these relationships, in these marriages. Even if the guy is a so-called good guy, it's like he's a good guy, but to y'all, but he could be cheating on her. But from the outside looking in, she's staying with him because he is a good dad and he's just there. But what if this good guy is cheating on her? A lot of good guys are putting hands on these women from the outside looking in. Y'all assume he's a good guy and she doesn't want to tell y'all all her business, and she's divorcing him, and all of these women are coming for her and trying to give the men advice on not to date women like her. And just like, y'all, this is why you cannot be friends with a lot of women, because a lot of women even if they're your friends, they're not even going to want to know your side. And even if you do tell them your side, they are so male identified, they're not going to be on your side. They're going to, girl, I wish I had a man like yours. I wish I had this. I'm single and I would, stuff like that. It's really hard for women to connect with other women because women are so stuck on wanting to have a man. And most of y'all's friends probably want your husband. So but anyway, let's get back into the rest of the videos and I'll be back.
So today I left a 5-bedroom, 3 full bath, 3-car garage, beautiful fenced-in backyard home to move into my mom's basement at 35 years old because I asked for a divorce. I divorced the nice guy, knowing I was not in love and not fulfilled in that marriage, and that we truly just were not compatible. I had no money because I had been running a successful business, but this all happened during COVID, and my business was an in-person business, so it was greatly affected by that. That on top of emotional and mental abuse I was dealing with and transition of leaving my home, I could barely function to work because I was in such a dark place. I lost family, I lost friends, I had people make up blatant lies about me. Instead of just coming to me and talking to me, they assumed the worst in everything. I didn't know where I was gonna go, and I lived with my mom for an entire summer until I found this crappy little townhome that I took because I could afford it. It was old, the basement flooded, but I made it my own. It was in a really bad neighborhood, and I constantly also had to deal with cops showing up at my neighbor's door. But again, I could afford it, and at that time, that's all that mattered. I was now not only a single mom, I had to figure everything out on my own. I had to get assistance with rent. I had to get help with food. I was in the lowest of lows. I went from being a 6-figure successful business owner to barely surviving. Fast forward 3 years to today, and I am in this beautiful loft. I run 3 successful businesses, and I am genuinely in love with who I am. The decision to divorce is not always easy. It is very scary. But what I do know is it's scarier staying with somebody you know you are genuinely not in love with, because it's hurting them just as much as it's hurting you. I promise you, you will make it. And the minute you'll know you've made it is when you can authentically be yourself with 0 questions.
I want to bring up something that I don't think we talk about very often, and that's just how difficult it is to leave a marriage or a long-term relationship to a nice guy. And this isn't to diminish how challenging it is to end a relationship to someone who is clearly not being so nice to you. That also takes a ton of courage and self-compassion to work your way through. When you're with someone who's really kind and you've been feeling unfulfilled for a while, it is really hard to understand that it's the lack of connection and emotional intimacy in the relationship that is leading to your dissatisfaction. You can't bear the thought that it is. So you will deceive yourself. You will essentially gaslight yourself and say that it's your career or the stress of raising kids or anything else beside your relationship.
So a lot of women are going viral right now talking about wanting to leave their perfect husband. Like, he's perfect in almost every way. He checks all the boxes. The family love him. They have kids. They're married. Like, he checks all the boxes. Maybe except one. You know, if you catch my drift. Hold on. All right, back to it. If you want to leave your husband to go get your doonies beat down by somebody who could actually do it, go do it. Please, go do it. Free him. But I want you to understand something. Once you leave, there's no turning back. When you get with the other dude that beats your doonies down good, just like how you want him to, once he steps out, once he starts to do stuff that your ex-husband, never dreamed of doing, please do not complain. That really be my only request. It's your life. Do what you want. Because if you're saying that you have the literal perfect husband, you're even calling it that. And you're just not attracted to him, because that's what y'all are saying. Once you get with somebody you are attracted to, Don't start reminiscing about those days with your ex. Keep getting your Goonies beat down and allow him to be free. Because in this day and age, everyone is promoting divorce. The vows literally mean nothing. Just take the advice and leave him. Set him free.
Y'all, men always assume when a woman wants to leave or get divorced, they will always assume it's because they think that the grass is greener on the other side, or that she's cheating. They will always assume that's the reason why, because most of the time it's because they're cheating. But most women, if they're in their 30s or 40s and they've been in like a decade long marriage or longer, they don't want to get married again. Women are saying it, stats are proving it. Women who have been in long marriages at that age, or even if they were in their mid-20s and they've been in a long marriage, they do not want to jump into another marriage. Men think that that's because they are codependent and want to attach to another woman right after they get divorced, because they cannot live without sex or another woman. Like they can get sex, they could pay for it or whatever, but they still want like a permanent source of sex, like up under them, that they can always get it from, just in case they can't. I think that's the reason why most men get married anyway. Like, they can get sex from other women because there's always a desperate woman that's going to give it to them, but they want that permanent source of sex, like that, because they know most wives feel like they're obligated to have sex with them because they're married. They know that. But then they complain when wives are like boggled down and don't want to have sex. But yeah, men are going to always think that you are wanting to get divorced or don't want to have sex with them. That's going to be their main reason, because that's all they think about. So it's always going to come back to sex. And it's even going to be some women who think that too. Like, he's a good guy. Nothing is wrong with him, especially like his family. Yeah, your in-laws, if they see him as a good guy and he's done nothing wrong and he's perfect, he's just like an angel, you must be cheating on him. Most women who are pick-me's and mammies, she must be cheating on him because he pays the bills. He pays for everything. He's so nice. And for y'all that don't know, the word nice means ignorant or stupid. So yeah, he is so nice. Like, to them, he's so nice. The etymology of it means stupid or ignorant, But anyway, let's get back to the rest of the videos.
You're the one initiating divorce, but you feel guilty as hell because he's a good guy. There isn't any big reason. He didn't cheat on you. He didn't steal from you. He's not beating you. He's a good guy, and you feel like shit because you need to divorce. You're not happy, and it's the right thing. But yeah, it's keeping you from actually pulling the trigger because you feel so guilty. I want to talk about this again. I talk about this a lot, and I just feel as though I need to keep reinforcing this message because I know that you need to hear this. You are not doing anything wrong by asking for a divorce. You are not doing anything wrong by saying, my happiness lies in a different path. But what you are doing is you are doing the right thing. Brene Brown says, clear is kind. And if you stay because you feel guilty, you are not being clear and you are not being kind. Not only are you robbing yourself of a chance at happiness, but you're robbing him at his chance for happiness too. Because by staying, even though you want to leave, you are misleading him and you're keeping him from finding the happy, healthy relationship that he deserves as well. So don't kid yourself that by staying, you're doing the kind thing, because you're in your heart, you're not there, you're not committed anymore, you're not in love anymore. It's time for you to go. So number one, you're not doing anything wrong. So the guilt you're feeling is actually not guilt, okay? Because guilt means you're doing something wrong, but you're not doing something wrong. And therefore, it's not guilt you're feeling. It's the discomfort of making a choice that is going to be hard for somebody else, and it's the choice that he doesn't want. It's the discomfort of making a choice that is in alignment with your truth and with your values and what you know is right for you. You're uncomfortable about that because you know that it's going to be hard for him, okay? So reframe it from guilt to discomfort. That's going to help you get out of that trap. And number 2, remind yourself that clear is kind. And when you are clear with yourself and you're clear with him, that is the kindest thing to do. Doesn't mean it's easy, but it is the kindest thing you can do.
We talk about how hard it is to leave the good guy. When you say, I want a divorce, and he's like, no, I want to work this out. Everything's going to be fine.
Free that man so he can find his wife. I'm going to say it again. Free that good man, Savannah, so he can find his wife. Because if you're unhappy, chances are he's unhappy too. But he just doesn't know how to express it. And he doesn't want to get help clearly to change the dynamics of your relationship. And I understand that you're unhappy and your feelings are very much valid. I don't want to invalidate them. But just know that once this marriage is over with, you might not find anybody better. And that's okay. But you got to be prepared to not hold him to a high standard that nobody else can reach. And you also may need to fall in love with the idea of being alone for the rest of your days. Because you know how people say the grass ain't always greener on the other side? Well, I haven't seen too many green pastures that look appealing nowadays, okay? So you might have to fall in love with you and be okay with that for the rest of your life. But yeah, free you and free him so y'all can both be happy.
So all the good guys are taken, and the good guys that are married stay married because girls don't divorce good guys. This is not always true. Just because someone is a good guy doesn't make them the right guy for that person. So I think there are lots of really good men in their 30s, maybe their 40s, 50s, whatever, getting divorced from people who just weren't right for them. Me and my ex-husband, while we had our issues, he was a good person. He'll make a good husband for someone else. And I'm a good person, and I'm making a good wife for someone else. We were just not meant to be together. My husband is divorced. He's a good guy. His wife cheated on him. They got divorced. He was single for a long time. We met. Being married, being divorced, it doesn't mean good or bad. It just means wrong fit most of the time. But I've been getting so many comments from people that are like, it's too late. All the good guys get taken in their 20s. And it's just not true. There are a lot of really great guys who aren't ready to get married in their 20s. Maybe they did get married in their 20s and it didn't work and they got divorced. Maybe they were in their party phase in their 20s, but now they're in their 30s and they've grown up and they want to settle down. There are a million different reasons why someone may or may not be taken at whatever age you are at right now. And you need to stay open-minded enough to find out why they're still single and understand that good guys come in all ages and from all walks of life.
So I'm getting a divorce, and I don't talk about it a lot because this person's still in my life and like we're cool. But I used to get asked all the time, like, why are you getting a divorce? Like, you still get along and he's just so nice and so great. Like, I don't understand. And I feel like a lot of people probably go through this, and I'm going to give you prime example that happened today of why people end up getting divorced that get along. Okay. We had a marital home together. We recently sold that home and he had been living there. And so he is now moving out. So I was like, okay, you need to cancel the internet and turn the boxes in. You need to contact the new owners about taking over the power and the water and everything else. Okay. After walking through step by step of those things, I got an email today, or no, I didn't just get an email. I got an email, I got a phone call, I got text messages, I got it all, okay? A damn pigeon almost showed up with a letter strapped to its leg to tell me that our water bill was late. So I texted him and I'm like, why am I getting blown up by the water company? And didn't get a response, but then I get an email that says your water bill has been paid. So then I get a text that says, oh, I forgot, like I paid it. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, did you ever talk to the new owners about like transferring over the water? He was like, what do you mean? And I said, did you talk to the new owners about taking over the water account? And he was like, I didn't know I was supposed to. Okay. I said, well, I did tell you to make sure that got done. Then I get the response of, what am I supposed to say? There was like a moment in time where I flashed forward and I was like, I can't do this for the next 40, 50 years. There's no way. I don't personally want to spend my life leading the horse to water. So just so you're aware, the little things will lead to a divorce. 100% will lead to divorce. There were a lot of bigger issues too, but like that's just a little example. I don't always want to be, you know what? It's not worth it. Just be an equal partner.
I don't know what woman needs to hear this, but hear me clear. If you got a man that loves you, if you got a man that's trying, that's doing everything in his power to get better and rise to the occasion of loving you, stay there. Because it's easy for you to be like, I can have anybody I want, because you can. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people want me, and that's probably true because you're beautiful. But you will quickly find out that a lot of the motherfuckers that want you, you don't even want. And a lot of men that want you will never love you, will never try as hard as the man that you are with right now, will never rise to the occasion of loving you. Sometimes that's the illusion. You'll be like, oh, you don't know how many men ask for my number. You don't know how many men I can have anybody I want. You don't be wanting people. That's very rare. So if you're in a relationship with a man who doing his very fucking best to learn you, to love you, to get better on behalf of loving you, stick the fuck around. Because I'm trying to tell you that a lot of people want you, but a lot of people don't have the capacity to keep you, love you, or take care of you. Do not let the illusion of all these men wanting your number and liking your pictures and getting in your head even fuck you out of a good person.
Again, do not listen to these people. I don't know why people are so invested in other people's relationships. Like, this is kind of sickening. Like, why do you care if this woman is leaving this man? And who are you to say he's good? Good is really subjective, y'all. Like, good to me may not be good to you, and vice versa. Like, most people are not good people. You can go down a line of 10 people and 2 of them can be okay. To me, like, most people to me are not good people. I feel like I'm a really good person, but if you ask most people that know me, they think that I'm a bitch. They probably think I'm a bitch. They think I'm mean. They think a lot of stuff about me, but like, to me, I'm like the best person I know. Like, I don't care. I feel like I'm the most honest person. I feel like I would never lie to you if you were my friend. I'm brutally honest, and that's why people think I'm mean and a bitch, I guess. But like, I don't understand why most people are so concerned when a woman wants to leave a so-called nice guy. Why are y'all so concerned? Then that means there's more nice guys out there in the world for y'all. Aren't y'all like always complaining that there's not enough good men in the world? So why don't y'all leave the women alone that are deciding they want to get divorced from these men? That's what I don't get. Let's talk about it in the comments. If you are one of those women that are saying he was a good man, Savannah, like, if y'all are one of them, get down in the comments and let me know, why are y'all so invested in what women do when they, what women do? Like, oh, okay, let's get back to it.
A lot of conversation lately about women leaving good men or women walking away from a man that's a quote unquote good man. And I think a part of the problem is that a lot of men define themselves as good men and they actually aren't. These self-proclaimed good men think that they are because they don't cheat on women or beat on women. But it takes more to being a good man than not doing those things. And just because a man is a quote unquote good man doesn't mean he's the good man for you. Some of these quote-unquote good men don't respect women. They weaponize their incompetence. They don't take care of their children. They're disrespectful. They consume manosphere, red pill content all day, and they think that women are beneath them. I feel like the men who are acting as if women are being too picky or we're looking for the perfect man if we don't want the quote-unquote good guy, it's the same energy as saying for them to settle. It's like the saying goes, give a man 10 women and he'll keep looking. Give a woman 10 men and she'll choose. They want you to choose out of this small batch of men and say, hey, out of these 10 guys, which one do you want? Yeah, but there's more than 10 guys out there. And even if he's the nicest out of the 10, doesn't mean that he's what I want. These men want single women to say close enough, he's good enough, he'll do, but that's not what men say. They take their time. They're in no rush to find what they want, but they want to rush you along. They want to make you feel like you're up against the clock. You're running out of time. Your childbearing years are over. That's why they try to tell you that after 25, you're no good and all that. They have a vested interest in trying to hurry you up and picking one of them because they know if you actually took your time, they wouldn't even get picked.
Why I divorced such a good man. let's talk about it. So in my marriage, I did a lot of covering up. I did a lot of covering up what my husband was doing because I was ashamed. I was guilty. There was something in me that made me believe that because he wasn't doing the things that he had vowed to do, that I was somehow at fault, and that in a good marriage, you cover those things up. You cover for your husband. You have your husband's back. You don't air your dirty laundry out there. You fight for your marriage. You stay in your marriage. And this is what I was raised in. This is the culture. This is the mindset. This is sometimes being a believer in a church. That's what's heard, is that you stay in a marriage. And so you hear about, granddaddy and grandpa and the deacon in the church got a whole nother family. And you hear about all these things, and you believe that as a Black woman that you have to suffer first before you get to love. You hear the whole mindset of, granddaddy did grandma, he cheated, but then he settled down and now grandma don't want for nothing. That's because granddaddy old and crusty and don't nobody want him no more, right? So, but translated into my marriage, I thought that I had to cover up the things that were going on because in my head, I had what's called cognitive dissonance, which means that basically what I'm doing and what I believe are not the same. So either I need to change what I'm doing or change what I believe. And so because I had such a mindset that as a believer, you do not get divorced, I had to change the mindset to say, well, maybe it's something that I'm doing. Maybe I can, if I just, endure it, then he'll change and he'll become the guy that he was for the first 6 months of our marriage. And we're 3 years in and I haven't seen that guy again. And so when I filed for a divorce and when I finally decided that this was enough, I had so many people coming to me and asking me, hey, why are you letting such a good guy go? Hey, what's going on? I thought he was perfect and he was great. And I had to realize that not only was I divorcing the guy that was not good to me, I was divorcing the image that I had portrayed to everyone else. So now not only was I having to go back and tell the truth of what happened in my marriage and why it was going to divorce, I had to realize within myself that I was part of the reason why people couldn't understand why I was leaving such a good guy, because I had covered for him for so long. So if you're in that position and you felt that way before, then that's something that you have to own first and foremost, but not carry around, right? You were doing what you thought was best. You were doing what you thought you were supposed to do. And I get that and I understand that, right? And we move on, we grow, and we learn.
So my final thoughts are, I think that women just grow and evolve at a faster pace than men. Sometimes I literally don't think that men evolve or grow past the age of 17. Like literally, I'm not trying to be funny. I just look around, especially like Black men. I look around and I see them in their 40s and 50s and they're still wearing the same clothes as they did when they were 17. Just, I don't know, graphic tees, nothing changes. It's just the same exact clothes, same music they were listening to when they were 17, just doing the same things. Video games, I don't know, basketball, that's not a problem because that's exercise, but I just see so many things that they do the same as when they were teenagers, and women evolve. Like I know me personally, I change my thoughts every 3 to 5 years. Like because I'm learning and I'm growing, I'm studying, I'm looking at stuff, I'm listening, I'm like pushing stuff out that I don't think would be good for my health, pushing things out that my mind, I don't think is good for my mind, my beliefs, my thought processes. I'm thinking about the future. I'm getting older. I'm caring about different things than I did when I was 15 and 17. And I think and women don't care as much about sex when they get older. Women are thinking about other stuff. Men don't do that. Men just stay stuck. And like sex is just like the number one. Like, I believe that sex is important, but I also believe that sex is like really powerful, and it isn't something that women who are single should just be out here just doing, because like it has messed a lot of us up. But anyway, I'm off track. I forgot what I was about to say, but yeah, I just think that women evolve at a faster pace, or period. Women just evolve. And I don't think that most men do. And I think that's the biggest issue with men and women. I feel like that's the biggest issue. Like when I look at most of the podcasts and the conversations that are going on with men and women, I just see that the men are not evolved at all. Like most of them still believe like we are in the 40s or 30s or something, and they're stuck there. Even though most of them weren't born then, they just got stuck there. And even if they were born in the 30s and 40s, they still act like, most of them still act like 17-year-old boys. Like they can't cook for themselves, they can't clean for themselves, they can't make their own doctor's appointments. Like they don't know how to talk to women and communicate. And I feel like that's like most 17-year-old boys. So I don't know. Get down in the comments, ladies, and let me know. Have you ever broke up with a nice guy or a good guy, and why? Why did y'all break up with them? And how did people react to you breaking up with the so-called nice or good guy? And I will talk to you ladies later. I just got off of work and I am about to relax. So y'all have a good one, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.